You've probably seen a graph like this before that basically says if you drop out of high school or don't get much education, you're not going to make much money. You've also probably heard of someone like this, Richard Branson, someone who did drop out of high school and is a billionaire. So how really does education impact your future? Welcome to my YouTube channel, where we're going to learn how. Welcome back to The How, where I make videos to help people find a satisfying career or side hustle. And I'm doing so because I had an extremely hard time finding a satisfying career. Now that I found one, I want to give back. Today's video, we're going to talk about the importance of education and what role it plays in your future. I promise you, no matter what route you take, education matters. So we're going to tackle these questions today: the what, the when, the who, the why, and most importantly, obviously, the how. Before we go any further though, I have to say this. If you heard me mention education and you got a pit in your stomach because you don't like education, you don't like school, or you've had a bad experience along the way, I want to say sorry. I'm a school teacher and I have a lot of students that in my classroom, I know that style of learning is not for them. It doesn't suit them. It's sad but true that the standard education system, where you go to a classroom in elementary school, high school, on up, does not suit everybody. It's not a one-size-fits-all. I've seen students of mine that are on the outside of that fit, and it's miserable for them. It's not to say that they can't be successful, it just means that they have to find the style of education that works for them, and they can be extremely successful that way. So if you're in that situation where you have not enjoyed school so far, it's probably because you haven't found the right education style yet, and that's what this video is designed to help you with, as well as you probably haven't found something that you're passionate about yet. So I promise you, when you have something that you're excited about, education cannot come fast enough. You will eat up that information faster than you can get it, and it's extremely exciting. It's very, very fun when you have something that you're interested in. Learning about it is a joy. If you have not enjoyed school so far, I hope this video can help you. I think it can, as well as how to find your passion, but more on that in a different video. Education is the process of receiving information. Now, there's a lot of different processes that you can follow in order to be educated, not just the one that we're all familiar with, which is going to school. So then what are the other processes? I'll show you. The first type of education is formal education, and this is the one that we're the most familiar with. This is where you're grouped either by age or by ability. You're in a classroom, usually, and you have very structured material that is delivered by a teacher. So the teacher delivers the information in a very specific way. Some examples of this are elementary schools, high schools, colleges, etc. The next type is basically the opposite of formal education. It is called informal education. At this point, there is no longer a classroom, and your learning comes from the people that are around you. So this can be children learning from their parents, or this can be learning from friends when they teach you a game, learning from people in your community. It's pretty much the learning that happens as you go through life. The third type is called non-formal education. Now that probably sounds very similar to informal, but it's actually more closely related to formal education. So here you again have a teacher, but the difference is the information that's being delivered comes in a very flexible structure. So the teacher can adjust the information to suit the individual learner's needs. Examples of this can be job training, fitness courses, tutoring sessions, or guided hobbies. In each one of these situations, the information can be adjusted, and usually the teacher is going to follow along closely with the learner and make the adjustments as needed. Now, the fourth and final type of education is not one that I read about, but it's one that I think deserves to be represented because I think it's incredibly powerful, and that's exploration education. This can honestly look exactly like the other three types, but with one main difference: there's no teacher. This is self-guided education, where you're going through and you're the one that's exploring and experimenting with the content and finding things out as you go. The reason why I love this one so much is because you're in control, and I would argue that it's the fastest way to learn. A few examples of this can be performing a hobby, investigating a topic on YouTube that you're interested in, reading a book, and that could be the same book that you would have read in the formal education setting, but now you're just doing it on your own. And finally, literally creating anything. counts as exploration education. And I can say from firsthand experience, creating my YouTube channel, I have learned a ton. And I have learned way faster by doing it than by asking other people to teach me. Learning can happen in any one of these different styles, but you need to decide which one suits you best. I wanted to include the when and the who in this video because I think there's a lot of misconceptions when it comes to education. So if anyone's asking, when should I be getting an education? The answer is always. I know that's a total cliche to say that you should never stop learning, but stop and think about that for a minute. If you stopped learning today, that means tomorrow there's not going to be anything new. And the day after that and the day after that, everything's going to be exactly the same. You're not going to be challenged by anything. The things that are exciting are the things that are new. When you play a new sport or you try a new hobby or you go to a new place, you're learning in all of those situations. So honestly, my encouragement is you should never stop learning. Now, I've never lived that situation where every day is exactly the same, but I have at least in a small degree. As a school teacher during the summers, by the end of the summer, if I don't have something going on, it gets real boring real fast. You're just wasting your time, where I would rather be spending my time and investing my time in something that's making me more valuable. As to who should you turn to for education, that's also an easy one. That answer is you. If you think that you need to find someone who can teach you how to do a hobby or save up enough money to go to school and learn from a professor, that's honestly kind of an excuse. You can start now. It doesn't mean that you have to do everything by yourself, but you can at least begin. You can go find a book to read. You can watch a video that helps you learn something. Today, there is so much free information through the internet. You just need to take advantage of it. I know that's also kind of a cliche, but literally, it's you. You can control your destiny when it comes to education. There are tons of reasons why you should continue your education. I'm not going to sit here and go through all of them, but I am going to at least focus on a few of them, the ones that matter the most to me. The first reason why is there is a direct correlation between education and income. Literally, the more you learn, the more you earn. And as far as I can tell, that is true for every career. Here's a good example for you. Think of LeBron James. He's a basketball player, and you might think there's not much education in basketball, but there is. Now, LeBron James is perhaps the best basketball player currently, or has been, who's to say. Early on in his basketball career, when he was just dominating, he went to, I think it was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who had an impressive backup fadeaway jump shot. And LeBron went to him to be coached by him. If it's not Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, it's another famous previous basketball player. Anyway, he went to this individual and got coached by him to improve his fadeaway jump shot. And you'll notice that is now something that LeBron James is actually really good at. He uses it a lot. So LeBron James could have said, I don't need to continue learning, but he chose to, and he has won national championships. And you could say that that fact that he developed that skill is a big reason why he's won. A big reason why he and his teams are always so good. So you learn more, you earn more. Another reason why education matters is because it makes you more confident. And again, this is true for every career. If you think about the people that you've come across, you think, man, that person has the it factor. They have something special about them. I'll bet 9 times out of 10, that's confidence that you're witnessing. And knowledge gives you confidence. So if you're a person who feels like you lack in confidence, get educated in the topics that you feel nervous about. And you'll notice that the topics that you know a lot about, you're confident talking about. For some people, confidence comes more easy than others. They can fake it more. But at the root of all of that confidence is knowledge. So you can augment your confidence level by learning more. Education also makes you more self-dependent. I've done a handful of interviews so far, and there's one of 2 answers that always come up when I ask people what fulfills them about their work. And it's either helping people or it's seeing a job well done. And when you receive more education, you can do more things. You can fix something in your home if it's broken. You can figure out how to save something on your computer that you've been struggling. It basically makes it so that you don't have to rely on other people and you can do things yourself So the more you learn, the more things you can do, and that's going to give you a greater sense of fulfillment in your life as well as in your work. And the final one I'll mention, which means the most to me, is education helps you recognize opportunities that haven't been realized before. This is how our world progresses. This is how innovation happens. This is why we have the internet, have cars, have flight, medicine, is because people learned in those different areas due to their unique skill sets and the knowledge that they had acquired. They were able to apply that knowledge in areas that needed a solution. If you watch Shark Tank, you'll notice that people that go on there and then pitch a product, it's something that they've learned about in whatever area they've been involved in. For an example, there was a firefighter who went onto Shark Tank with his wife, and they pitched a little device that you attach onto your car that allows you to step onto the side of your car and reach whatever's on the roof. He was able to come up with this with his wife because, for one thing, his wife was really short, but also being a firefighter, he learned that that little loop thingy that's on the side of your car can hold a certain amount of weight. And he realized, hey, I can build something that attaches onto there and can support the weight, can support someone standing on it. It's not going to break your car. And then you can reach up and grab whatever's on your roof. So by learning from his job, he was able to apply it to another area of opportunity and became a millionaire because of it. So I think education is the most important thing you could possibly do. Because who knows? You could be the person that solves a problem that everybody deals with and everybody needs a solution to. You just don't know how to find it yet. But you could. Now here's the part of the video where I want to give you something that you can walk away with and use. And that's the answer to how do you pursue an education. Now I have to say that this differs for everybody. So I can't say that this is exactly what you should do, but I can give you an overall plan. Hopefully throughout this video, there's been a moment where you thought, that's it, that's me, that's the type of education I like. So you need to decide what style of education best suits you. If you're someone who has thrived throughout school, going to college I think would be a great option. If you're someone who has struggled perhaps through school, it's totally fine. Don't worry about it. You're probably going to do better in more of an exploration type education or a non-formal education system. So pick what best suits you and move forward with that. So once you've decided what education system works best for you, make a plan. And that plan should start with this. The first thing that you should decide with your plan is your goal. I would suggest picking a big goal, something that you want to achieve. Maybe you want to learn what career is right for you. Maybe you want to learn more about a topic and become proficient in it. You decide. Pick your big overarching goal. Picking your big goal is going to be the end. Now start at the very beginning. Pick a very small, achievable goal. Perhaps you just want to choose what topic you want to learn more about. Perhaps you want to figure out what schools or options that you can go to learn about a potential career. Hopefully this first goal is something easy that you can achieve, something you can do in a relatively short amount of time, because what that's going to do for you is after you achieve that first goal, it's going to make the second goal that much easier. And you're going to get that sense of satisfaction knowing that you're making progress. So now we have the big goal, we have the small goal, and I would even break it down one step easier than that, and I would just decide what step one is. What's the very first thing that you can do? Maybe that's looking at, hey, I could go to this school or that school. Maybe I'm going to go online and just Google the topic that I want to learn about. Coming up with step one is going to help you narrow in on the most essential aspect of your goal. And it should ultimately tie in with your big long-term goal. You'll probably find out that as you come up with step one, you'll start to realize, oh, okay, now I can have this be step two, and step three, and step four, and so on. And it should help set the path before you as you start with that very basic step. Another crucial item when it comes to your plan is a time frame. I oftentimes come up with ideas and schemes and I have the greatest ambitions in the world, but if I don't have a time frame to them, they're just a dream. For me, I found that I have to set a time frame that pushes me, something that is maybe sooner than I feel comfortable with. Just a little bit sooner, not terribly soon. So if I want to learn more about a certain topic, I say, okay, I want to do so by the end of the week. Or if my big goal is finding out what career is right for me, I want to at least figure out which school I'm going to go to within a month. Everybody's different when it comes to choosing a time frame, but pick one that motivates you, something that's both realistic but also pushes you in the right direction. Thank you for watching. I hope this video was helpful to you. If it was, Please hit the like button below and consider sharing this video with someone that you think could benefit from it. If you liked what you saw, hit the subscribe button as well, because you can have an opportunity to have an impact on what videos I create, as well as follow along with the latest videos on hobbies, opportunities, work, and how to find the right career fit for you.